Hello, my name is Olivia Risch, and I am the first year experience coordinator for Southwest Texas Junior College. I also teach one of the ICEV communication certification courses. And I want to thank you for joining me here today. We're going to be talking about scaffolding an adult education program using industry certification. I hope you stick around for the live Q&A at the conclusion of this session. Let's get started. Some of the items we're going to discuss are the benefits of adult programs that include certifications. One of the certification courses that I instruct, which is a Southwest Airlines Professional Communications course. And then I'll share with you what success and certification looks like for students after they receive their certificates. Certifications demonstrate initiative and desire for self-improvement about a subject students are already partially familiar with, which is why they've taken an interest in becoming certified. In my experience, students are taking classes to complete their GED, so to take a condensed certification course speaks volumes of the student and their passion to achieve something beyond their GED. And this is why I inserted this photo, because with their passions, with the certification, there's a start and there's a finish. And there's life in between. They have jobs, they're trying to get their GED, and they're trying to achieve this certification. But there is a finish, and we do get through it together. So I just felt like it was appropriate for this part. The course that I teach is an 8-week course for communication and customer service. And I hold class twice a week. And those classes are 3 hours long in the evening. And it's a lot of material that we review. After each lesson, students have to complete an assessment. In order for them to take the certification exam at the end of the course, they have to have passed every single assessment. And some nights we do up to we'll do up to 3 or 4 lessons, which means they have to do 3 or 4 assessments before the next class. But we make sure that it's doable. Expectations are set from day one. The students come to class in a timely manner. They are ready to learn with their note-taking pads and pens, and they're ready to share. And together we get through this course. Now, I can say that ICEV does a fabulous job of making sure that the content they provide is up to date with our current industry. In our communications course, for example, our students relate well to the topics that surround podcasts and webinars and technology. But ICEV also provides numerous resources that are available and activities for the students to participate in outside of class to ensure that understanding of the course material. One of the things the students really appreciate in the communication course is the timeline and the facts and the history of communication. They also appreciate learning about things, how communication has evolved over time with Disabilities Acts, Civil Rights Acts. These are things that just help complete the whole picture for them in this course. The certifications validate job skills and reduce on-the-job training. As we know, it takes a tremendous amount of time and money to train new employees. And the one thing employers don't like is when an employee completes training and then decides this job isn't for them. Certification holders have acquired the knowledge and skills required to enter a specialized occupation. This should reduce the amount of on-the-job training that's needed. Students are considered career ready based on industry valued and industry accepted standards. As we stated, certification holders require less onboard training, reducing time and expenses for the employer. Employers can be confident that their certified applicants are familiar with proper terminology and procedures, and students can feel confident knowing that they understand the job duties that they signed up for. And this is very, very true, because one of our students was only halfway through his certification course when he applied for a job in the service and hospitality industry and was hired for his position, and was happy to share with our class that his manager was very, very happy with the skills that he had already acquired in our course that he was actually using, because it spoke volumes of him and the knowledge he was already gaining in our course. Now, certifications are great for the students, but they're also really, really good for the businesses. Certified employees show the business is committed to hiring qualified employees. Once students have completed their certification course, they receive a certificate, and with that certificate, they also receive a letter that outlines the things that they've mastered according to industry standards. And I always tell the students, take this letter and use it during your interview process as a reference for all the things that you've completed during your certification course. Qualified employees also reduces turnover and increases productivity. And we have this conversation with the students, how we love going to a business and seeing the same face all the time, having the same person greet us, and how frustrating it is when we go to a business and we see somebody, a new face every single time. We have to retell our story over and over again. So this is another reason why businesses that hire certified employees is so important. And lastly, businesses save money and energy when they hire certified. This might also encourage businesses to continue to seek certified workers, and it also prompts a conversation about how certification was attained. Now I'm going to talk about the ICEV certification course I've had the pleasure of teaching, which is the Southwest Airlines Professional Communications Certification course. For short, I label it the PCCC course. Some of the things that we learn in this course have to do with everything from communication to public speaking, to how to provide excellent customer service, to how to resolve conflict, and then different leadership styles, teamwork, and how to collaborate with one another. And this is just a few of the many, many things that this course teaches. Now, when I was first asked to teach this course, it was supposed to be face-to-face, and I can't wait until I can teach it face-to-face. But because of COVID, I ended up teaching this course twice via Zoom online. I feel like if this could be face-to-face, some of the places that we would experience more success would probably be in this public speaking area or with the role-playing area. But like many educators out there who got very creative during this pandemic time, we found a way to teach this course and still be effective, highly effective, and still be able to check for understanding and make sure that our students were staying engaged. I was able to teach this course to students across 3 different counties and 7 different towns, and that made for quite a bit of success. So that was a big benefit for this course, was just the student reach. Communication styles, written and verbal. This is the foundation of the communication course, and it is the perfect opener for our students because it has a student ask themselves, what kind of communicator are you? Understanding yourself and how you communicate is a great way to launch this course because it makes the students look at things from others' perspectives rather than their own. How we communicate effectively begins with knowing about the various styles of communication. So during this course, we look at the different styles. Are you passive? Are you aggressive? Are you assertive? Are you passive aggressive? And then we define what that means. Then we use those words and sentences. And then we have homework, and it's one of the most interesting homeworks because the students after this lesson go home and evaluate themselves, do a self-evaluation. And when they come back at the next class, they say, golly, Miss Rish, at home, I'm this, I communicate this way, but at work, I communicate this way, and they're completely the opposites. And it's really interesting to see all the various communication styles that exist in your class. But during this, when we discuss this, students are able to share with each other how they deal with the manner in which they communicate. And this is very, very important for them to understand, because how they communicate says a lot about how they send messages to their coworkers or to their peers. And the more effective they are in communicating, the better the feedback will be from those they communicate with. So this is a very, very great launching point for this course. Now in this course, public speaking is highlighted, and it should be. And often I refer to the office during this part of our course jokingly with the students, first to give them something to relate to, and then to let them know that Miss Rishis is human and watches TV, but also because the office is a perfect example of how not to behave in the workplace, with few exceptions. This past year of social isolation has really heightened the already lack of face-to-face communication that we have. We're so used to sending a text or an email to communicate something that we've forgotten how to have a simple conversation with someone, let alone speak in public, whether it's formal or informal speaking, peer-to-peer, or at a small banquet. So this part of the course is difficult for students, but it's also very, very necessary. We have to remind students, and the quote is there, that to conquer fear is the best way to gain your self-confidence. And this is where you really see the students grow, when they start to give small speeches, and we make it very basic. How to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You're going to present that. You got 2 minutes. You're going to present that at the next class. And they really get creative and have fun. How to make a taco salad. But they're smiling. They're looking at the screen. They're speaking loudly. And like I say, although we're not in person, we all can still offer constructive criticism. And really, this is where you see the students grow. And it's a really great thing, because I feel like after this part of the lesson, the manner in which they communicate, the rest of the certification course is very, very different, and it's very engaging. So the students have their confidence. They've learned how to do public speaking. They're a little bit more confident. They know their personality type and how they communicate. And so now we move on to superior customer service. This lesson always makes for great conversation, because students are able to share their experiences with regard to excellent and terrible customer service. And we've all experienced it. It's a very lengthy lesson that dives into whether or not businesses can afford bad customer service. What is return on investment, and what is the return on investment for great customer service, and why is customer service so valuable for a business? This is the part of the course where students are able to role play with one another, right? And give me examples of good customer service and bad customer service. Bad behavior is examined in the workplace, and good work ethic is defined at the same time. Now, in discussing this cycle of service with the students, because service has a cycle, and it begins with a hello, with a smile, and we say that every single time in this course. With everything, there's going to be conflict, and you have to know how to resolve conflict. So ICEV just does a great job with this course in the way that they put this course together, because you learn how you communicate, and then you learn how to speak to others publicly, and then you learn how to provide excellent customer service. And in all of that, with all of that knowledge, you learn how to resolve conflict. And it happens. And most of the time when we share during this part, we talk about how in our families, in our own homes, we have to resolve conflict on a daily basis. But that at work, it's a little bit different, right? It's a little bit more difficult. So we take all of these tools that we've been given throughout this course, and it teaches us how to effectively communicate in a way that we can resolve conflict quicker. So this is a very, very important part and a very eye-opening part of the course for the students. This is the part of the course where students learn that listening, active listening, is really important when resolving conflict. And lastly, we learn about different leadership styles, how to work in a team, and how to collaborate. Teamwork makes the dream work is what I tell my students. And it's true. We have to learn how to work together. We have to learn to accept others' ideals, and we have to learn how to collaborate with one another, because that's where some of the best ideas are made. When we come together, we agree to disagree, and we grow as a team. So with that being said, I'm going to share with you some of our students that have received their Southwest Airlines certification, and across the different towns in our southern area. And I want to thank you all for joining this session as well. And you will automatically be awarded points for attending this session. And at the end of the conference, you will receive a digital certificate noting how many sessions that you attended. I hope to see you during our live Q&A right after this.